If you're between 13 and 18 years old, this might be the most important video you will ever watch. My name is David. I'm a law student in Germany. I received 4 scholarships in total for my academic and voluntarily achievements. I made my first $10,000 within 3 months this year, traveled to more than 20 countries, and grew my Instagram account in the last 4 months to 20,000 followers. To get to this point, I made a lot of mistakes, and I wish back then when I was 14, 15, there would have been a video just like this. So here are 6 actionable steps you can do right now to get ahead of your classmate. Number 1 is don't do what everybody else is doing. Now, if your goal is to stay average, then just do whatever everybody else is doing. For me personally, back then, I didn't want to live an average life. Think about this. Whatever you're doing right now between 13 and 18 years old is preparing your future self in your 20s. If you build a solid foundation, life in your 20s will be way more interesting. So if your friends are not interested in self-improvement at all, don't even care about the grades, go home, play video games, guess what? You can get ahead of them not doing the same things. After class, and you read books, watch YouTube, learn something new, invest in a skill, guess what? I wasted all that time on video games, whereas you have been practicing, getting ahead of the competition. And I already know some people are gonna be like, oh, this is so toxic thinking about your classmates as competition. But that's what they are. Life is a competition. You can sugarcoat it, you can say whatever you want. For every university you're applying to, for every job that you're applying to, guess what? It's a competition against other people. And if you wanna get ahead, act accordingly right now. Number 2 is to get physically stronger. Now, if you're under 18 years old, I would not recommend you to go to the gym and lift heavy weights because it can affect your growth. So what I would do if I would be under 18 years old would pick any sport that I really enjoy. That could be swimming, playing soccer, tennis, whatever you like. But if your goal is to look more muscular and prepare your body after 18 to go to the gym, I recommend you to start off with calisthenics, just basically body weight exercises. That's exactly what I did. I just bought a pull-up bar for my home, did some pull-ups here and there. That way your muscles can grow, you improve your physique without risking the growth of your body. Everybody knows that being physical is healthy for you, but it also has another benefit. You'll grow your confidence massively. I was a really skinny, nerdy Asian kid, and then I started to swim competitively and also with the calisthenics that I just mentioned. Within 1.5 years, I had these beginner gains. You could see really huge improvements in my physique, the way I felt. In comparison to my other classmates in 9th grade, my bicep was pretty decent. Another cool thing that you should do is get a gym buddy, because doing sports activities with your friends is way more fun. My best friends in high school was actually a guy I met in a swimming pool during our lapses and got into this competitive mode of just like trying to beat each other's time. And I still look back at that time. Number 3 is to stop worrying about what other people think. This one was huge for me because I was a nerdy Asian kid with not a lot of friends back in high school, super introverted and shy. So I always had this feeling that I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be the popular guy in the class so bad that I played a different role. I tried to act cool, just like the popular kids in my class. If you're young, that is a very natural thing to do. Just because it's natural doesn't mean that it's right long term. Just think about it. In 20 years, who of your classmates will be around anyways? I can tell you from experience, it's been 5 years since my graduation from school. I've made 1 or 2 friends I'm still in touch with, because eventually everybody is going their own way. They're going to study in different cities. While you're still in school, everything resolves around the school. You think that it's always gonna be like this, but realistically, it's gonna change drastically once school finishes. So if in 5 years, these people don't even matter to you anymore, they don't give a shit about you, they don't care about you, why should you care about their opinion right now? Don't do something that you don't want just to fit in. Smoking, for example, was a huge thing. Drinking alcohol was a huge thing. Because it was considered cool, back then I really had to fight my inner demons to not smoke or drink alcohol just to fit in with the group. Number 4 is to party intentionally. Especially if you're in puberty, you will get occasional invitations to go to parties and probably your first time ever drinking alcohol. Don't be one of those classmates who wasted every single weekend and consider that cool. There's nothing wrong with going to parties occasionally and have fun, but do it intentionally. Do it as a reward, not as an escape. Even to this day, I don't really necessarily enjoy going to clubs or going to huge parties, loud music, people puking on the floor, drinking tons of alcohol. Never really enjoyed that. Of course, it's sometimes cool to hang out with your friends, chill with your bros at a house party. But most of the time, even back then, I would lock in. While everybody else was at a random house party or watching a soccer game, wasting their time, I was reading books, I was watching a ton of YouTube tutorials, I was getting ahead of the competition. And let me tell you, you will feel incredibly accomplished. Your future self in your 20s will thank you for that. If it wouldn't have been for all the efforts that my younger self put in, I wouldn't be at the place I am right now. 5 is to become a more interesting person. How you can become more interesting is to do things outside of your comfort zone. It means doing activities, for example, that you normally would never do. I went to a pottery class. I thought that would be for grandmas, but it was so healing and interesting to do that. Going to the theater club. Because I was such a shy kid, I wanted to do something really would help me with my social anxiety. I think every person should have at least 3 hobbies. One physical hobby that gets you active, that gets you jacked. Second is something that really helps you with your creative process. Could be playing an instrument. I used to play the piano, now I'm getting into playing the guitar. And the third one is related to self-studying, so reading books, for example, and watching videos just like this. I'll guarantee you, if you have these 3 hobbies, you'll instantly become a more interesting person. You will have more things to talk about, more things to relate to with other people. Number 6 is, if you can, try and get a job or do an internship somewhere. Make your first own money. It's not daddy's money, it's not mommy's money. If you make your first money yourself, you will understand the importance of education, you will understand the importance of your time. My first job was at a super low paid local business. I had to stack like super heavy packages. It was in that job that I first realized how shitty other employees can be, how little money you can get paid for the amount of physical effort you have to put in, how much value $1 has. You will value and look at money in a different way. After working that job, I promised to myself that I'd never want to work in a job like that. It really motivated me to keep educating myself to become better every single day. Get way more responsible, see money and time in a different light. So these are 6 things I wish somebody would have told me when I was younger. If this video helped you out, please consider subscribing, and I see you guys in my next video.